Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am back live at Schlentz Gym in Brookline, Massachusetts for tonight's non-conference boys basketball game between the Brookline High Warriors and the Milton High Wildcats. It's been a bit of an absence for me over the past couple of weeks as I dealt with an illness that kind of messed up my voice there. But feeling better and back now and couldn't be happier about it. The Brookline Warriors back on a home stretch. They've gone 2-2 over their past 4 games after a 7-game win streak that spanned over the course of about a month, going from late December until late January. Over the past 4 games, they suffered a 57-45 road loss to Needham, bounced back with a 56-50 win at home against Everett, suffered a tough 77-68 loss at home to rival Newton North, their second loss to the Newton North Tigers this season, but then bounced back with a home win over Wellesley, 62-51 on New Year's Eve, their second win over Wellesley this season. And now they kick off the 2020 part of this season with a home game here against Milton. The Wildcats coming into this game with an 8-7 record as compared with Brookline's 14-4. And Milton also 2-2 over the last 4 games. They went on a brief 3-game winning streak from January 15 to January 21. Then, since then, they lost to Boston Latin Academy at home, 66-54. Had a narrow win over Wellesley, 59-55. And then lost to Needham, 55-38. This will be the first game of 2020 for both teams as they head down the final stretch of the season. Just 4 regular season games left for Brookline as they try and make it the final push for a good postseason position. Brookline once again coming in with the advantage in age and experience. A big senior class as always for Brookline. A total of 7 seniors on the roster, as compared with Milton's 4 seniors. Both teams, senior classes including both their co-captains. For Brookline, that's Bryce Burke and Miles Avalon, the senior co-captains. And for Milton, that's Dalen Trotman and Earl Tucker. But of course, while Brookline may have the advantage of seniors, the total is 7 seniors for Brookline and 5 for Milton. I miscounted at first. But even with that said, Brookline has no shortage of youth coming into this game. They had some talented underclassmen coming off the bench this season. Theo Murray and Devonnie Perez and Andrew Mitchell have all been solid, shown some promise as youngsters. That is along with juniors like Jack Altman and Abraham Richardson, and Miles Hart also coming off the bench. And we're just about ready to get underway. Brookline, as usual, coming with their all-senior starting lineup: Ben Murray, Ben Ordonez, Lucio, Dulstedt, Brown, and co-captains Bryce Burke and Miles Avalon. Meanwhile, Milton enters the game with 2 seniors, 2 juniors, and a sophomore. The 2 seniors are co-captains Dalen Trotman and Earl Tucker. The 2 juniors, Andrew Lynch and Shamar Anderson, and then 1 sophomore in Lateef Patrick. Both teams coming out onto the floor. As we get ready to start this game, it'll be Earl Tucker taking the jump ball for Milton and Miles Avalon jumping for Brookline. Here's the opening whistle, and here's the toss. Tip is recovered by Brookline. That's Lucio Dulstedt Brown. Dulstedt Brown bringing up the ball, dribbling to his left. He passes it over to Bryce Burke on the wing. Bryce Burke sends back up top to Ben Murray. Ben Murray starts to dribble inside, looking for a lane. Puts up a layup, no good. Rebounded by Milton. That's Dalen Trotman with the rebound. He brings it up, passes it over to his right to Andrew Lynch. Lynch holding the ball. He passes it up top to Shamar Anderson. Anderson swings it over to his left to Lateef Patrick. Patrick drives in, goes for a layup, no good. Rebounded by Avalon, stolen away by Tucker. Earl Tucker with the heads-up poke away from Miles Avalon, and he puts up the layup for the first basket of the game. 2-0 Milton. Ben Ordonez brings up the ball for Brookline, swings it over to his right to Ben Murray. Back up top to Bryce Burke, over to the right wing to Miles Avalon. Handed back to Bryce Burke. Burke fires a three, front rims it, rebound Ben Ordonez, but he's called for a travel. Ben Ordonez with a heads-up offensive rebound, but couldn't handle it properly, and he's called for traveling. Andrew Lynch bringing up the ball for Milton. Milton holds a 2-0 lead in the first minute of play. Lynch holding the ball just past half court. Passes it over to Lateef Patrick on the right wing. Patrick fakes the shot and then passes it over to Dalen Trotman. Trotman starts to dribble inside, kicks it back out, drives in by Lynch. Lynch kicks it out to Anderson, who passes it over to Patrick. Patrick dribbles to his left, goes for a fader, and hits it. Nice awkward shot by Lateef Patrick, makes it 4-0 in favor of Milton. Ben Murray brings the ball across half court, dribbles to his left, starts to drive inside, tries to force a layup again, nothing doing. But the loose ball is picked up by Bryce Burke. He swings it over to Ben Ordonez on the right. Ordonez dribbles in, kicks it out to Dulstedt Brown. Dulstedt Brown with the three-pointer from the right wing. The deficit quickly cut to 1, and now it's 4-3 Milton. Earl Tucker brings up the ball for Milton. Tucker starts to dribble inside. He kicks it over to Shamar Anderson. Anderson floats it up and in. Smart find by Earl Tucker on the drive there, and it's now 6-3 Milton as the Wildcats off to a good start. Ordonez brings the ball across half court for Brookline. Swings it over to Bryce Burke, who tries to throw a pass. Nobody there, but it bounces over to Ben Murray. He puts it inside to Dulstedt Brown. He tries to lay up, no good. Rebound, Andrew Lynch. Lynch passes it up quickly to Lateef Patrick. Lateef Patrick goes for the fast break layup, no good. But a foul is going to be called on Bryce Burke, and Patrick down on the floor. An awkward fall there as Bryce Burke went underneath him, and Lateef Patrick landed on his back going for the layup and then awkwardly hit the floor. Patrick back on his feet now as he gets ready for two free throws rather. 6-3 the score in favor of Milton with 5:46 to play in this first period. Lateef Patrick misses his first free throw. Bryce Burke with the first foul of the game for either team. And Patrick goes for the second free throw, and this one rolls in. 7-3 now the score in favor of Milton. Ben Murray brings up the ball for Brookline. Dribbles to his right, kicks it over to Bryce Burke. Burke holding the ball at the right wing. Passes it up top to Lucio Dulstedt Brown. Dulstedt Brown dribbles inside. Passes it over to Miles Avalon. Avalon with the layup after a nice backdoor cut and a nice pass by Dulstedt Brown. 7-5 now the score in favor of Milton. Lateef Patrick brings the ball across half court for Milton. Patrick holding the ball up top. Swings it over to Trotman on the left. Trotman dribbles, then kicks it out to Earl Tucker. Tucker holding the ball. He gives it over to Trotman on the left wing. Tries to pass inside to Shamar Anderson. It's deflected, but recovered by Anderson. He swings it over to Earl Tucker. Tucker gives it over to Patrick. Patrick fires a three, no good. Rebound, Bryce Burke. Burke bringing up the ball. He swings it over a long pass to Lucio Dulstedt Brown. Hits the layup. Heads up pass across court by Bryce Burke, and Lucio Dulstedt Brown hits the layup and draws the foul. We have our first substitution of the game. Number 22, Ross Tejeda, comes in replacing Shamar Anderson for Milton. The foul was called on Andrew Lynch for the block against Lucio Dulstedt Brown. Dulstedt Brown lines up for the and one. He puts it up, and it bounces in. Brookline with their first lead of the game now at 8-7 after the nice and one play by Dulstedt Brown, following a heads-up pass from Bryce Burke. Earl Tucker brings up the ball for Milton. Dribbles to his left. Gives it over to Dalen Trotman. Trotman dribbles, passes it over to Andrew Lynch. Lynch tries to dribble inside, and he draws a reach foul. That's going to be the second foul of the game on Bryce Burke. And it looks like Brookline's getting ready for a substitution. They do make that substitution. Theo Murray will be coming in as the first substitution, replacing Bryce Burke. 8-7 still the score, 4:39 left of the period. The inbound from Tejeda, looking for an option. He tries to fling it out to Patrick, deflected by Dulstedt Brown, but Patrick is able to track it down back court. Patrick brings it back across half court, almost loses control of his dribble, but recovers, passes it over to Andrew Lynch on the left. Lynch dribbles inside, goes for the floater, no good. Loose ball, rebounded by Avalon. Avalon gives over to Ben Murray. Ben Murray dribbling in transition. Gives it back out to Theo Murray. Theo Murray swings it over to Lucio. Dulstedt Brown goes for another three. Front rims it, no good. Rebound, Andrew Lynch. He gives over to Trotman, who sends it ahead to Earl Tucker. Earl Tucker drives inside. Gets around the charge attempt, but misses the layup. Rebounded. And we got a blocking foul. Lateef Patrick had the offensive rebound, went for the second chance shot. And no, it's not a foul. They're going to say it was out of bounds as he was blocked from behind. Tejeda going for the inbound again. He tries to put it off Murray's back, but Murray with the heads-up spin around, and he recovers it. Theo Murray passes ahead to Ben Murray. Ben Murray gives it back to Theo Murray. Back over to Ben Murray on the right wing. Up top to Ben Ordonez. Ordonez dribbles, passes it over to Lucio Dulstedt Brown on the right wing. Dulstedt Brown pulls up, hits the shot. Nothing but net from just inside the three-point line. 10-7. Lateef Patrick brings the ball across half court, tries to dribble in, and he draws the contact from Lucio Dulstedt Brown. That'll be Dulstedt Brown's first foul, Brookline's third, and Patrick was not in the process of shooting yet, so he'll be inbounding the ball for Milton. Patrick sends it in to Andrew Lynch. Lynch gives it back to Patrick. Patrick fires from three, no good. Loose ball, knocked out of bounds by Theo Murray. He was battling with Ross Tejeda for the rebound, and Murray knocked it out of bounds. Oh no, they're saying it was off Tejeda. So Brookline gets the ball. Theo Murray inbounds to Ben Murray. Ben Murray brings it across half court. He starts to dribble inside, hits traffic, kicks it out to Ben Ordonez on the right wing. Ordonez hands it over to Ben Murray. Murray dribbles back up to the top. Ben Murray kicks it out to Ben Ordonez on the right wing. Ordonez dribbles in, then kicks it out to Miles Avalon. Avalon starts to dribble, throws an errant pass that goes through the hands of Theo Murray and out of bounds. 10-7 still the score in favor of Brookline as Milton gets the ball back on the turnover. Andrew Lynch inbounding the ball. He gives it to Dalen Trotman. Trotman goes across half court, kicks it back over to Andrew Lynch. Lynch back to Trotman up top. Trotman holding the ball, looking for an option. He starts to dribble, starts to go inside, goes for the awkward shot, no good, well defended by Ordonez, who also picks up the rebound, but he loses control of his dribble as he goes across half court, picked up by Lynch, and give it over to Tejeda. Tejeda goes for the layup in fast break, and he hits it. 10-9 now the score. Inbound to Ben Murray, who slings it over to Lucio Dulstedt Brown for another smart pass and layup. Lucio Dulstedt Brown's got a couple of those heads-up layups. Lateef Patrick dribbles hard into Lucio Dulstedt Brown and draws another foul from Dulstedt Brown. Brookline not happy with that, but the ref saying, hey, his feet weren't planted. What do you want me to do? So second foul for Lucio Dulstedt Brown as he subs out for Alex Socorro. Dulstedt Brown off to a good start in the first quarter points-wise, but some foul trouble as the inbound to Trotman, who swings it ahead to Tejeda. Tejeda gives it out to the corner to Lateef Patrick. Patrick tries to pass, deflected, and taken away by Alex Socorro. He gives it over to Ben Murray. Ben Murray goes across half court, goes for the quick drive to the basket, doesn't make the layup, but draws the foul. (12-9) the score in favor of Brookline. And Ben Murray will be going to the line after a foul called on Dalen Trotman. Murray goes for his first free throw, front rims it, no good. Ben Murray usually pretty good from the free throw line, but missed that first one. The score remains 12-9. Murray goes for his second, and that one bounces out. Ben Murray misses both, and the score remains 12-9. Earl Tucker takes it across half court, tries to drive by himself, goes for the layup, no good, well defended. Ben Murray with the rebound, spins around Tucker as he goes across half court. He starts to dribble inside, trying to take it by himself, goes for another layup, misses once again. Rebound by Ross Tejeda. Tejeda almost loses control of the dribble, but hangs on. Gives it over to Dalen Trotman. Trotman dribbling up top. Swings it back over to Tejeda on the right wing. Tejeda holding the ball, almost loses control again, but then gives it out to Dalen Trotman. Trotman fires from three up top, hits it. Tie game at 12 after a three-pointer by Dalen Trotman. Ben Murray bringing up the ball once again. He swings it over to Ben Ordonez, who gives it up top to Miles Avalon. Over to Theo Murray on the left wing. He tries to pass it inside to Alex Socorro. Poked at by Trotman, but Socorro recovers. Tries to pass to Avalon. He goes off his feet, but Socorro recovers. Socorro tries to throw another pass over to Avalon. It's poked away by Earl Tucker, but they're going to call a foul on Tucker. That'll be his first, Milton's third, as we have another Brookline substitution. Abram Richardson subbing in for Ben Ordonez, as Brookline going for a slightly bigger lineup at this late stage in the first period. 1:11 left to play, score tied at 12, and we have a Milton substitution. That is number 12, Nathan Frazier, coming in replacing Dalen Trotman. Avalon inbounds to Murray. Ben Murray holding the ball at the left wing. He passes it up top to Theo Murray. Theo Murray holds it, starts to dribble, gives it over to Alex Socorro. Socorro holds it at the left wing, gives it over to Ben Murray. Ben Murray dribbles up to the top. He holds it, fires from three, and hits it. Ben Murray, after some tough early goings, hits a big three to give Brookline the lead 15-12 with less than a minute to go. Earl Tucker brings the ball across half court for Milton. Dribbles around his defender thanks to a pick, goes inside, and they're calling an offensive foul on Earl Tucker on that drive. Earl Tucker's second foul, and we're going to have a substitution as Trotman checks back into the game, replacing Tucker, after Tucker got a little too physical on his drive to the hoop. Ben Murray dribbling across half court with less than 35 seconds left in the period. Murray dribbles to his left, floats one up for Richardson. Richardson tried to go for the alley-oop, but it was too well defended and not properly timed. Recovered by Ross Tejeda, and he gives it over to Dalen Trotman. Trotman brings it across half court. Ball is poked at by Theo Murray, but Trotman recovers, dribbles to his left, passes it over, and the shot is put up by number 24, misses, but offensive rebound, but Lateef Patrick gives it out to 24, swings it over to Tejeda, goes for the shot, no good. Saved, offensive rebound, gives over to Frazier. Frazier goes for the shot, no good. This time rebounded by Brookline. And after that crazy sequence of several missed shots, we end our first period. Brookline holding on to a slight lead of 15-12. Both teams at 4 fouls. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan here at Schluntz Gym, and I'll be right back for the beginning of the second quarter. Thank you for listening. Hello and welcome back to Schluntz Gym on the campus of Brookline High School. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, and we're here for the second quarter of this boys basketball Bay State Conference matchup between the Brookline High Warriors and the Milton High Wildcats. Brookline with a slight lead 15-12, and Milton starts with the ball, and it's Lateef Patrick slowly bringing up the ball. He dribbles, fires from three from up top, and some contact there. No foul call. Offensive rebound, Dalen Trotman. He goes for the putback, no good. Rebounded by Alex Socorro, who gives it over to Ben Murray. Murray dribbles across, tries to go for a layup by himself. This time he hits it. Ben Murray has been going for a lot of those risky contested layups, but that's the first one he's hit, and now the score is 17-12. Andrew Lynch brings the ball across half court, gives it to Ross Tejeda, who gives it up top to Shamar Anderson. He gives it over to Lateef Patrick. Patrick fires three once again. This time he hits it. 17-15 now the score as Lateef Patrick hits the three from up top. Ben Murray slowly brings up the ball this time for Brookline. Swings it over to the left wing to Theo Murray. Up top to Miles Avalon. Over to the right wing to Abram Richardson. Back up top to Ben Murray. Murray fires for a deep three. No good. Rebound Theo Murray. Murray holding onto the ball. He gives it over to Abram Richardson. Richardson goes for the layup. No good. Rebounded by Lateef Patrick. Patrick brings the ball across half court for Milton. Patrick passes it over to Dalen Trotman. Trotman fires from three, and he hits it. Back-to-back threes by Milton, and now they have the lead once again, 18-17. Ben Murray slowly bringing up the ball for Brookline. Swings it over to Alex Socorro on the left wing. Socorro dribbles to his right, tries to pass it over to Murray. Completes the pass, but Murray loses the ball on the drive. Loose ball, and that's going to be a jump ball. Ball was poked away from Theo Murray as he collected the bounce pass and tried to drive inside. But a loose ball turns into a jump ball as we have a substitution. Miles Avalon coming out for Ben Ordonez. Theo Murray looking for the inbound. He gives it over to Alex Socorro, who passes it outside to Ben Murray. Ben Murray dribbling on the right wing, drives inside, goes for the layup, hits it! Ben Murray starting to find the openings as Brookline retakes the lead 19-18. Ross Hayden brings it up, passes it over to Lynch. Lynch gives it over to Shamar Anderson. Anderson travels. Some nice ball movement by Milton, but then ended by some sloppy ball handling by Shamar Anderson. Ben Murray passes it ahead to Ben Ordonez across half court for Brookline. Ordonez gives it over to Alex Socorro in the right corner. Socorro holding the ball, looking for a passing option. He hands it off to Ben Ordonez. Ordonez dribbles up top. He swings it over to the corner to Abram Richardson. Gives it up top to Theo Murray. Murray drives in, goes for a layup himself. No good. Rebound, Andrew Lynch. He passes ahead to Lateef Patrick. Patrick tries to fire a pass to Dalen Trotman. Too fast and too far. It's out of bounds. And we have another substitution. That's Daniel Dalzell coming in to replace Alex Socorro for Brookline. Meanwhile, Milton subs in Earl Tucker for Ross Tejeda. Ben Murray slowly bringing up the ball for Brookline. Passes it across half court to Ben Ordonez on the right wing. Ordonez passes it back over to Ben Murray on the left wing. Then back over to Ben Ordonez on the right wing. Then over to Daniel Dalzell on the left wing. Dalzell, risky pass up top to Ben Ordonez. He dribbles in, passes it over to Theo Murray, and Murray floats it up and in. 21-18. Now the score in favor of Brookline. Earl Tucker with the ball for Milton. Dribbles to the right wing. Goes to his right. Trying to get around Theo Murray. He does. He passes it over to Shamar Anderson. Anderson gets trapped. Ball gets poked away, but he recovers. Passes it over to Andrew Lynch. Then over to Dalen Trotman. And back up top to Tucker. Tucker drives in. Goes for a layup. No good. Loose ball. Picked up by Abram Richardson on the rebound. Ben Murray brings up the ball now. He passes it over to Ben Ordonez on his left. Then swung back over to the right wing to Ben Murray. Then over to Daniel Dalzell, then back up to Ben Murray. Inside to Theo Murray. Over to Ben Ordonez. Ordonez dribbles around his man, kicks it back out to Theo Murray. Murray steps in, goes to the layup, no good. Andrew Lynch rebound. He floats it up to Earl Tucker, and Tucker all alone for the slam dunk in transition. 21-10, the Brookline lead, and Brookline calls a timeout after Earl Tucker with a fast break slam dunk. That could be a big momentum shifter here with 4:23 left in the second period. As so far, Milton has slightly outscored Brookline in what's been a pretty close game. Brookline had the 15-12 lead after one. Brookline has scored 6 thus far, mostly from Ben Murray, who started to find his rhythm. Meanwhile, 8 points thus far in this period from the visiting Milton Wildcats. Earl Tucker with the latest basket, as Andrew Lynch picked up the rebound off the miss by Theo Murray, floated it up to Earl Tucker, who was all alone and got to put down the slam dunk with authority. When you see a slam dunk in high school, you know that could be a big momentum changer. So that's probably why Coach Courtney Valentine called the timeout for Brookline, to try and settle things down, get his team back into it, so they don't lose momentum here. Brookline coming back out with their starting lineup of Murray, Ordonez, Dulstedt, Brown, Burke, and Avalon. Milton coming back out with their starting lineup of Tucker, Trotman, Lynch, Anderson, and Patrick. Ben Murray passes it across half court to Ben Ordonez. Ordonez swings it over to Burke, who swings it back to Ordonez. Back over to Ben Murray on the left wing. Murray holding the ball, looking for an option. Passes it inside the paint to Avalon. He kicks it back out to Bryce Burke. Burke goes for 3. He hits it! That's how you come out of a timeout, as Bryce Burke hits a three-pointer, extends the lead to 24-20. Andrew Lynch brings it across half court for Milton. Lynch passes it over to Dalen Trotman on the right wing. Trotman dribbles to his left, goes inside, goes for the floater. No good. Rebound, Ben Ordonez. Ordonez brings it across half court, passes over to Bryce Burke. Burke dribbling on the left wing. Goes back up top and then gives it over to Ordonez. Back up top to Burke. Over to the right wing to Ordonez. Into the corner to Dulstedt Brown. Back up top to Burke. Burke pump fakes. Starts to dribble inside. Hits traffic. Pulls up. No good. Rebound by Trotman. He gives it over to Tucker. Tucker brings it across half court. Over to the corner to Andrew Lynch. Back over to the right wing to Tucker. Almost lost the pass but recovered. Earl Tucker holding the ball. Dribbles to his left. Runs into Miles Avalon. Tries to put up an awkward shot. No good. Andrew Lynch tried to save it, or tried to throw it off of Ben Murray, no good. Tucker was trying to draw the foul from Miles Avalon, didn't get the call, and Brookline gets the ball on the turnover. Ben Murray passed it across half court to Bryce Burke, given back to Murray. Murray swings it back over to Burke on the right wing. Burke slowly bounces it over to Ben Murray on the left wing. Over to Dulstedt Brown in the left corner. Back up to the left wing to Murray. Murray looking for a pick from Avalon. He hits traffic anyway. Gives it to Dulstedt Brown. Dulstedt Brown tries to dribble around the edge. And is that going to be a foul call or an out of bounds? Looks like that's going to be an out of bounds call. And Milton will get the ball. Lynch gets the inbound. Passes it back to Lateef Patrick. Patrick slowly brings it across half court. Gives it over to Shamar Anderson. Back to Patrick. Patrick passes over to Earl Tucker on the left corner. Brookline looking for a travel call. Tucker pulls up from three. No good. Rebound by Murray. Murray now dribbling fast. Going in transition. He goes for the layup. Blocked by Tucker. But it doesn't matter because I think we got a charge call against Murray. Yep, that's going to be a foul call against Ben Murray. The charge, I believe, was taken by Andrew Lynch. So that'll be Murray's first foul of the game. First foul of this second quarter for either team. Brookline's fifth foul of the half. 2:23 to go. 24-20, the score in favor of Brookline. Lateef Patrick holding the ball and bringing it across half court for Milton. Patrick passes over to Lynch. Lynch to Anderson. Anderson to Trotman. Trotman fires from the left wing. No good. And loose ball. And that's going to be a jump ball as Ordonez and Patrick both had their hands on it. Possession arrow to Milton. Dalen Trotman will be inbounding for Milton. He gives it over to Patrick. Patrick gives it up top to Earl Tucker, who swings it over to Lynch. Then over to Trotman in the right corner. Trotman drives in, kicks it over to Anderson. Anderson with the open shot, no good. Loose ball picked up at first by Patrick, but then knocked out by Dulstedt Brown and picked up by Burke. Burke brings it across half court, over to Murray, then back out to Burke, then over to Dulstedt Brown, then over to Ben Murray in the corner. Murray fires from three, no good. Rebound picked up by Burke, drives in, blocked. Picked up by Andrew Lynch. He dribbles in transition, gives it to Tucker, he goes for the dunk, he missed it! Offensive rebound by Dalen Trotman, he gives it over to Lateef Patrick, he fires from three, he also missed it. Rebound poked away from Dulstedt Brown, but it's picked up by Murray. Murray goes across half court, gives it over to Burke, back to Murray. Murray goes inside, blocked from behind. And that's going to be out of bounds. Ball will stay with Brookline. No foul call. Despite a pretty physical block, you're going to say all ball. Ross Tejeda checking in for Milton, replacing Earl Tucker after a missed dunk on that drive. He was trying to go for his second dunk of the game. Lucio Dulstedt Brown inbounds to Ben Ordonez in the corner. Ordonez dribbles in, kicks it out to Ben Murray. Murray for three, hits it! Ben Murray hits the three from the left wing. What a quarter he's been having. Inbound to Ross Tejeda, given back to Lateef Patrick. 27-20, now the score in favor of Brookline with just over a minute left in the half. Patrick gives it over to Shamar Anderson on the left wing. Anderson gives it up top to Trotman. Trotman holding the ball, dribbling against Ben Ordonez. He starts to go inside. The ball is poked at by Ordonez, and I think they're going to call a foul against Ordonez. Brookline fans not liking that call. They thought it was all ball there. As Avalon is going to sub out for Alex Socorro. First foul of the night for Ben Ordonez. Sixth foul of the half for Brookline. Andrew Lynch will be going for the inbound here. Lynch looking for an opening, having trouble finding it. He floats it up to Patrick. Patrick lost control of it, but he recovered. Patrick dribbling, goes inside, passes it over to Andrew Lynch, who hits the easy layup. Heads up pass there, and that makes it 27-22. Inbound to Bryce Burke, dribbling with 40 seconds left in the half. He gets across half court. Passes it over to Alex Socorro, up top to Ben Murray. Murray starts to dribble in, spins, goes for the fadeaway. No good, rebound Trotman. Trotman brings it across half court. He gives it over to Lynch. Lynch dribbling up top, goes inside, spins around Burke, goes for the layup, and it falls out. And the loose ball goes off Milton, and it'll be Brookline ball. 17.8 seconds left in the half. And we have a substitution. Jack Altman checking into the game in favor of Alex Socorro. Coro comes out to a round of applause from the Brookline bench as they go for a more shooter-heavy lineup. Inbound to Ben Murray. He quickly brings it across half court. Starts to dribble inside, kicks it out to Ben Murray on the left wing. Murray sends it up top to Altman. Over to Ben Murray on the left. 9 seconds left. Murray holding the ball, looking for the last shot. 5 seconds. Murray starts to dribble inside, and he draws the foul. 2 seconds left to play in the half, and I don't know if they're going to call the shot on that one. It looks like they will. They'll call the shooting foul on Andrew Lynch, his second foul of the game, 5th foul of the half for Milton, although those foul counts for the team will reset soon. Brookline getting ready for a massive substitution as Ben Murray front rims his first free throw. Theo Murray, Daniel Dalzell, and Abram Richardson checking in for Ben Ordonez, Bryce Burke, and Lucio Dulstedt Brown for the final 2 seconds of this half. As Ben Murray has been struggling from the free throw line so far, he's 1 for 3. He goes for his second free throw and misses again. Ben Murray, I think he's actually 0 for 4 as that ends the half. 27-22, the score in favor of Brookline against Milton as we head into halftime. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan here at Schlunt's Gym. I will be back for the second half. Be sure to stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to Schlunt's Gym on the campus of Brookline High School. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan and I'm here for this live broadcast of tonight's boys basketball Bay State Conference matchup between the Brookline High Warriors and the Milton High Wildcats. Brookline holding a 27-22 lead after the first half of play, outscoring Milton 15-12 in the first quarter and then 12-10 in the second quarter. So 2 very close quarters, both coming out just barely in favor of Brookline. And as we get ready for the second half, we'll take a look at our first half box scores. For Brookline, we had 10 points in the first half from Ben Murray, this despite an 0 for 4 performance at the free throw line, very uncharacteristically off at the charity stripe for Ben Murray, and a number of missed layups in the first quarter as he tried to force his way through the defense, but he did hit a pair of big three-pointers and managed to sink a couple of baskets for 2 in the second quarter. Following him, we have 9 points from Lucio Dulstedt Brown, all coming in the first quarter as he got off to a very hot start, ran into some foul trouble after some contact with Lateef Patrick a couple of times on defense in the first period. Aside from those 2, we have 3 points from Bryce Burke, 2 points from Theo Murray, and 2 points from Miles Avalon. So not the most well spread out scoring spread. Again, uncharacteristic for Brookline, as they usually are able to use their depth quite effectively to spread out the scoring between a bunch of different names. This time, most of it coming from Ben Murray and Lucio Dulstedt Brown, who have combined for 19 of the team's 27 points. On the other side, looking at Milton's stat sheet, we have 6 points from Dalen Trotman, both from three-pointers. Then we have 6 points from Lateef Patrick, including 1 three-pointer and 1 for 2 at the line. 4 points from Earl Tucker, including that emphatic dunk in the second quarter. He tried to hit a second one, but missed it off the rim. 2 points each from Andrew Lynch, Shamar Anderson, and Ross Tejeda. And I miscounted on one of the Brookline points. It is actually 10 points for Lucio Dulstedt Brown, all of which came in the first quarter. I missed the 1 free throw he had, shooting 1 for 2 at the line. Shooting 1 for 1, hitting an and 1 in the first quarter. So Dulstedt Brown and Murray accounting for 20 of the team's 27 points with 10 points each. And meanwhile, Milton getting 6 points each from Trotman and Patrick to lead the way for their 22 points. We're about a minute and 15 left in what has been an unexpectedly tough game. Coming in, looking at the records, Brookline with a 14-4 record, Milton with 8-7. You'd think Brookline would have a decided advantage, but so far it's been a very close, knock down, drag them out kind of fight. And the slightest momentum shift could give either team this game as we get ready to start the second half. I'm Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan here at Schlentz Gym as we count down the last of the break clock and get ready for this second half to get underway. Once again, the score 27-22 in favor of Brookline. So Milton coming out with their same starting lineup of Trotman, Tucker, Lynch, Anderson, and Patrick, while Brookline brings out its starters, Murray, Ordonez, Avalon, Dulstedt, Brown, and Burke. Brookline starts the possession. Ben Murray brings it across half court, swings it over to Lucio, Dulstedt, Brown, who gives it in the corner to Miles Avalon. Avalon pump fakes, drives in, goes for a layup, and hits it. And he draws the foul from behind. A nice move to start this game by Miles Avalon. Faked to his left, then drove around the corner for an easy layup, and he drew the foul from Shamar Anderson. That's Anderson's first of the game, first of this half, as Avalon goes for the and one. He hits the and one, and we have a 30-22 lead for Brookline to start off this second half. Shamar Anderson brings it across half court after the foul, almost loses control of his dribble, gives it back up top to Earl Tucker. Tucker holding it up top against Avalon. Tucker starts to dribble inside. Some help coming from Bryce Burke, and he pokes it away. Picked up by Ben Murray, thrown ahead to Bryce Burke. Burke goes for the fast break lay-in, rolls out, no good. Offensive rebound, Ben Ordonez, and he puts up the layup and he hits it. Some heads-up play there, both on the steal and the rebound. Brookline starting with a quick 5-0 run, and we've got a quick timeout by Milton. A very nice play from multiple players on that one. Bryce Burke coming over to help on defense, to help Miles Avalon against Earl Tucker, and Burke pokes it away from Tucker. The loose ball is picked up by Ben Murray and floated ahead to Bryce Burke, who goes for the fast break layup, but it rolls out an unlucky rim roll, but then Ben Murray pokes it away from a Milton defender who was trying to rebound it, and the loose ball was picked up by Ordonez, who then hit the putback shot. 32-22 now the score, as Brookline has doubled its lead over the Wildcats in a matter of 39 seconds. And those coming from some very nice moves from several players, really. After Miles Avalon had the nice pump fake and drive to the basket for an easy layup, and then a nice and-one free throw, we get some nice play from Bryce Burke, Ben Murray, and Ben Ordonez to finish the basket. Inbound to Lateef Patrick. Patrick slowly bringing it across half court against a press from Dulstedt Brown. He successfully gets across half court, swings it over to number 20, who gives it back up top to Lateef Patrick, then swings it over to Tucker on the left wing. Tucker dribbles inside, goes for the shot from the top of the key, missed it. Rebound Ben Murray. Murray swings it over to Bryce Burke, who brings it across half court. Burke puts it back up top to Ben Murray. Murray swings it over to Dulstedt Brown on the left wing. Dulstedt Brown drives in, goes for the floater, rolls out. Rebound, Andrew Lynch. Lynch also dribbling against the press. Gets across half court. Gives it over to Patrick. Patrick tries to pass it inside, deflected by Dulstedt Brown, picked up by Avalon, passed ahead to Bryce Burke. Burke almost lost control of it. Picked it up, tried to pass it away to Dulstedt Brown, but it's lost. Picked up by Milton, who almost lost control of it. But eventually they regain control. Picked up by Lateef Patrick. He goes for a long three. No good. Rebound, Miles Avalon. Passed over to Lucio, Dulstedt Brown, who brings it across half court. He tried to swing it over to Ben Murray, but Murray wasn't looking. His vision may have been obstructed by Milton's Michael Markland. And the turnover up by Brookline gives it back to Milton. Lateef Patrick bringing it slowly across half court. No press this time. He gives it over to Markland. Then back to Patrick. Patrick holding the ball up top. Pass it inside to Trotman. Trotman dribbles back outside. Gives it up top to Patrick. Patrick holding the ball. Dribbles to his left. Kicks it back out to Trotman on the left wing. Trotman fakes, dribbles inside, goes to the layup, and he hits it. Some nice moves by Dalen Trotman to get around a couple of defenders and hit the layup. 32-24, now the score. Ben Murray brings it across half court. Gives it over to Lucio Dulstedt Brown, then over to Bryce Burke in the corner. He kicks it inside to Ben Ordonez for the easy layup. A nice cut to the basket by Ben Ordonez and a nice sharp pass by Bryce Burke. 34-24, now the score. Earl Tucker brings it across half court for Milton. Starts dribbling inside, spins, goes for the layup, and he hits it. Some nice drives inside by Milton, and it's now 34-26. Ben Murray brings it across half court. Goes up to the right wing, dribbles to his left, gives it over to Miles Avalon, and Avalon travels. Avalon wasn't quite ready for the pass, and he walked a bit. 34-26, still the score. Lateef Patrick brings it across half court from Milton. Patrick holding the ball just past half court. Almost travels, tries to pass, deflected away by Bryce Burke, but it goes out of bounds and it'll stay with Milton. Patrick looking to inbound. He gives it in the back court to Andrew Lynch. Lynch dribbling against Ben Ordonez. He gets across half court. Almost loses control of the ball but recovers. Ordonez trying to poke at it. Lynch in some trouble, but he passes it away to Lateef Patrick. Patrick fakes, dribbles inside, runs into traffic, poked away by Ben Murray on the help defense. Murray bringing the ball across half court. He starts to dribble inside, goes for a layup, he's blocked. Loose ball is picked up by Lateef Patrick. Patrick dribbling in transition, trying to get inside, trying to spin around, goes for an awkward layup, no good, but he draws the foul. And that's going to be a foul against Miles Avalon. The first of the half for Brookline and first in the night for Miles Avalon. And Lateef Patrick will be going for 2 free throws. Patrick hits the first. 34-27 now the score as Ross Tejeda checks in replacing Michael Markland for Milton. Patrick goes for his second free throw. And he hits the second one. 34-28 now the score. Milton has nearly cut their deficit in half. Ben Murray brings it across half court. Passes it over to Ordonez. Ordonez passes it to Dulstedt Brown. Dulstedt Brown pulls up. No good. Trotman with the rebound. He gives it over to Earl Tucker. Tucker brings it across half court. He starts to dribble inside. Goes for a floater. No good. Rebound by Lynch though. And he kicks it back out to Tejeda on the left wing. Tejeda dribbles in. Kicks it back out to Trotman. Swings it over to Tucker. Tucker dribbles. Pulls up. No good once again. Loose ball. Still loose, and it's out of bounds. And they're going to say it went off the foot of a Milton player, and the ball is going to go back to Brookline after a hard fight for the rebound from both sides. Inbound Bryce Burke as he slowly brings it across half court. Less than 4 minutes to go in the third period. 34-28 the score in favor of Brookline. Bryce Burke holding it at the top. He dribbles to his left. He gives it back up top to Ben Murray. Murray holding it. Dribbles, passes it over to Dulstedt Brown on the right wing. Dulstedt Brown starts to dribble, almost loses it, recovers, passes it back up top to Bryce Burke. Burke, it was poked at by Patrick, but Burke recovers, dribbles in, goes for a floater shot, no good, rebound by Tucker. And it looks like Bryce Burke got a little aggressive trying to take the ball away from Earl Tucker, and they're going to call a foul on Burke. I think that's his third of the night. It is. Second of the half for Brookline, and Theo Murray checks in, replacing Bryce Burke. Inbound to Lateef Patrick. He slowly brings it across half court. Holding it at the top. He starts to dribble to his left. Defended by Dulstedt Brown. He swings it over to Earl Tucker. Tucker goes around a pick, starts to dribble inside, tries to two-step, goes for the layup, and he hits it. A nice two-step around Ben Murray, who was trying to take the charge on help. And Ben Murray gets across half court, gives it up top to Ordonez. Ordonez dribbles, kicks it out to Ben Murray. Murray fires for three, hits it, nothing but net from the right wing. Third three of the night for Ben Murray, and that's going to be a timeout called by Milton, I believe, as Brookline re-extends the lead to 37-30. Milton had cut it down to just a 4-point lead for Brookline, but Ben Murray coming through with a big shot from the right wing, his third three of the night. He's already in double figures, had hit 10 points in the first half despite a pretty miserable performance from the free throw line and a tough first quarter where he missed a bunch of difficult layups. So once again, both teams giving each other a run, but Brookline holding on just barely while slowly extending their lead. They had a 10-point lead at one point, but Milton answered back, cut that deficit down to 4. But now a big 3 from Ben Murray puts it back up to a 7-point lead. 37-30 is the count, with 2:55 left in the third quarter. And I will say this, despite how close this game has been, how well defended it's been, not a lot of fouls called today. So far in this half, just 3 between the two teams as we're over halfway through the third quarter. 2 for Brookline and 1 for Milton. Really the only one in any kind of foul trouble is Bryce Burke, who just committed his 3rd foul. As Milton inbounds the ball, Lateef Patrick bringing it across half court. He starts to drive by himself, goes for the layup, and if that's not an announcer jinx, a foul is called against Lucio Dulstedt Brown. So right as I say, there's not a lot of fouls called. What do? They call a foul. And that'll be Dulstedt Brown's 3rd foul of the game. And he might be about to be subbed out, as it looks like Andrew Mitchell is getting ready to check in for Brookline and see the floor for the first time. Lateef Patrick hits his first free throw, as indeed Andrew Mitchell subs in for Lucio Dulstedt Brown. 3 fouls in the half for Brookline, and a couple players with 3 fouls, as Patrick front rims his 2nd free throw, rebounded by Ben Murray. Murray heaves it over to Ben Ordonez, who then kicks it out to Mitchell, then up top to Ben Murray. Murray throws it inside to Alex Socorro. Socorro puts up the turnaround and he hits it. A nice turnaround floater by Alex Socorro makes it 39-31. Ross Tejeda bringing it across half court for Milton. Tejeda looking for a pass, gives it over to Trotman. Trotman dribbles off his foot, and that goes back court, but they do call it. They are calling the back court. Milton trying to argue that it was deflected by a Brookline defender, but from what I saw, Trotman dribbled off his own foot, so if not a backcourt, it should have been a kickball. Either way, it is a turnover, and Brookline gets the ball back. Ben Ordonez brings it across half court, gives it over to Ben Murray on the wing. Murray drives in, goes for the layup, and hits it. Some nice moves by Ben Murray. 41-31, it's back to a double-digit lead. Dalen Trotman trying to go inside for Milton. He kicks it out to number 24, goes for the 3, and he hits it. That is Quanah Morrison with his first basket. And we've got another timeout as that 3-pointer cuts the lead back to 7. 41-34 now the score. And we have another timeout. Looks like this time it was called by Brookline. Couple of quick timeouts here. And the score is 41-34. Brookline in favor of Milton. They had once again got it to a double-digit lead after some nice heads-up baskets by Alex Socorro and Ben Murray. But then Dalen Trotman dribbling quickly across half court and driving to the hole before he kicked it out to Quanah Morrison, who was seeing the floor for the first time since the tail end of the first half. And Quanah Morrison hitting the 3 from the left wing to cut the deficit back down to 7. Exactly 2 minutes left to play in the third period as we come back to the action. Andrew Mitchell will be inbounding for Brookline as he gives it over to Ben Murray. Murray passes it over to Socorro, who gives it over to Ordonez. Back out to Murray as they try to battle against the press. Murray swings it across half court over to Mitchell. Mitchell catches it out the left wing, puts it back up top to Murray. Murray looking for a dribbling lane. It's poked away, picked up by Ross Tejeda. Ross Tejeda heaves it, but it's intercepted by Theo Murray. The pass intended for Earl Tucker. Murray picks it up, dribbles across half court, gives it over to Socorro. Socorro puts up a difficult layup, hits it. Nice shot by Alex Socorro. Brookline up 43-24 as Dalen Trotman dribbles across half court for Milton. Dribbles to his right, goes inside, goes for the lay-in. No good, but it looks like he's going to draw the foul from Theo Murray. And that is going to be a foul against Theo Murray. Brookline's fourth of the half. First of the night for Theo Murray after he made a heads-up interception on the attempted heave pass by Ross Tejeda, and Dalen Trotman hits his first free throw to make it 43-35. Theo Murray with a nice pass to Alex Okoro, who hit a difficult, awkward layup as Trotman goes for his second free throw. No good. Battle for the rebound, and they're going to call a jump ball as both Theo Murray and Ross Tejeda had their hands on it. Possession arrow to Milton, and Quanah Morrison will be inbounding the ball. And we got a bit of a conference with the officials, but they're going to stick with their call. Morrison looking for the inbound, gives it to Patrick in the left corner. Patrick starts to dribble inside, hits traffic, goes to the layup, no good, but another foul call. Fifth foul of the half for Brookline as they've hit a number of quick fouls. This one, the first foul of the night for Andrew Mitchell. Lateef Patrick going to the free throw line once again, and he hits it. Miles Avalon checking into the game, replacing Andrew Mitchell. Patrick has been very effective at drawing fouls so far tonight for Milton as he goes for his second free throw. Front rims it again, a loose ball once again. This time it's picked up by Murray with no question. After maintaining his balance, he gives it over to Avalon, who then hands it back to Ben Ordonez. Ordonez brings it across half court, dribbles to his right, gives it over to Ben Murray. Ben Murray dribbles back up top. Less than a minute to play. Murray looking for a pick. He goes around a defender, dribbles to his left, gives it over to Theo Murray in the corner. Theo Murray has it poked away by Ross Tejeda. Tejeda with his second steal of the quarter. He dribbles across half court, goes back up top, looking for a pass, 40 seconds left. He passes it over to Lateef Patrick. Patrick drives inside, goes for the shot. No good, rebound by Tucker. Tucker goes for the putback and he hits it. 43-38, now the score after the putback shot by Earl Tucker. Ordonez gives it over to Ben Murray. Ben Murray dribbling against the press. He gives it back over to Ben Ordonez. Ordonez passes it ahead to Theo Murray. Theo Murray back to Ben and Ordonez. 20 seconds left in the quarter. Ordonez swings it over to Theo Murray. Theo Murray looking for a pass. Swings it over to Ben Ordonez on the right wing. Ordonez dribbles, looking for an option. He swings it down low to Socorro. Socorro loses control of it, fighting to retain control. And they're going to call another jump ball, as Tejeda once again had his hands on it. Ross Tejeda has been everywhere this quarter in terms of defense and rebounding. 4.1 seconds left in this quarter. Miles Avalon looking for the inbound. Pass it out to Theo Murray. Murray goes for the instant three, no good. But the rebound by Socorro, he doesn't get the shot off in time, and that'll end the third quarter. Theo Murray gets off the shot just before the shot clock violation. Misses the three-pointer though, and Alex Socorro doesn't put up the rebound shot in time. So the third quarter will end with Brookline leading 43-38, the same 5-point deficit they had at the end of the half. We get ready for the fourth quarter. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, and I will be back for that final quarter of play. Stay tuned. Hello, and welcome back to Schlunt's Jam on the campus of Brookline High School in Brookline, Massachusetts. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, and I'm here for the fourth and final quarter of play between the Brookline High Warriors and the Milton High Wildcats. Brookline leading 43-38. Milton starts off with the ball. Lateef Patrick getting the inbound. He swings it over to Andrew Lynch on the left wing. Then into the corner to Earl Tucker. Back to Andrew Lynch. Throws it inside to Dalen Trotman. Trotman dribbles to his left, goes for a fader, and he hits the fadeaway shot from the left part of the key. And that makes it 43-40. One basket game now as Ben Murray gives it over to Bryce Burke, who slowly takes it across half court. Burke passes to his left to Ben Ordonez. Back up top to Ben Murray. Murray dribbling at the top. Starts to go inside, runs into a defender, but the ball was poked away, and they're going to say it bounced off of Murray. So an early turnover for Brookline. And a rocky start for the Warriors as the Wildcats cut the deficit to one basket. Lateef Patrick gives it over to Ross Tejeda, then back to Patrick, who swings it back over to Trotman, who kicks it out to Tejeda. Tejeda swings it over to Trotman in the left corner, but it's lost out of bounds. So So back-to-back turnovers now. And Brookline gets the ball back again. Bryce Burke slowly bringing the ball up for Brookline. 43-40, the score in favor of the Warriors. Burke throws it across half court to Ben Ordonez in the left wing. Ordonez swings it over to Murray, who then passes it over to Bryce Burke. Burke dribbles inside, gets stuffed on the attempted shot. Loose ball picked up by Tejeda. Tejeda gives it back to Dalen Trotman. Trotman comes across half court. Trotman holding it at the left wing. He swings it over to Latif Patrick up top. Then inside to Andrew Lynch. Back out to Patrick. Loose ball. Recovered by Patrick. And they're going to say back court. Once again, Milton arguing that it was deflected by a defender. But the officials stay with their call of a backcourt violation. And we have had consecutive turnovers, 4 straight turnovers. As Ben Murray drives inside quickly for Brookline. He goes for a shot. The ball, I guess they're saying Murray got blocked as the ball flies out of bounds, and they give the ball back to Brookline. I think Murray wanted a foul call there, but he didn't get it. Dulstedt Brown looking for the inbound. He passes it over to Ben Ordonez in the left wing. Ordonez starts to dribble inside. He goes for a layup. He's blocked by Trotman and hits the floor hard, as this time we have a foul call. They're going to call the shooting foul on Andrew Lynch. That's his 3rd foul, 2nd of the half for Milton. 6:25 left on the game clock. Brookline with a slim 43-40 lead over Milton. Ordonez hits his first free throw. 44-40. Brookline once again with a 2-bucket lead. Ordonez goes for his 2nd free throw. Front rims it, no good. Loose ball, picked up by Ordonez. Ordonez gives it over to Burke in the corner, then back to the wing to Ordonez. Up top to Dulstedt Brown. Over to Ben Murray on the right wing. Up top to Burke. Burke fakes, drives, goes for the layup. No good. Rebound, but then Burke comes in fast and grabs the ball, but they're going to call a foul on Burke. And that's going to be Burke's 4th foul of the game. And he's going to sub out for Theo Murray. Burke is clearly frustrated with that most recent foul call. He thought he was grabbing all ball, going for a jump ball, as we had a number of them last period. Now the inbound, Ross Tejeda gets trapped, gets the press. Another trap in the opposite corner, but then eventually Milton gets across half court, swung over to Tejeda. Tejeda dribbles, passes it over to Tucker. Tucker hits the layup. Earl Tucker with the layup, and now it's 44-42 in favor of Brookline. Just under 6 minutes to play. Ben Ordonez passes it up top to Ben Murray. Ben Murray starts to dribble inside. He goes for another difficult layup, and this time it rolls in. Nice move by Ben Murray. And once again, Brookline with the press. Trotman swings it over to Patrick. Patrick swings it ahead to Tejeda. Tejeda starts drive inside, kicks it out to Patrick on the right wing. Patrick swings it over to Tucker in the left corner. He drives inside, goes for a layup, no good. Loose ball on the rebound, and it's recovered by Avalon. He gives it over to Dulstedt Brown, who then gives it over to Murray. Ben Murray dribbling across half court. Gives it over to Dulstedt Brown at the top. He fires, hits the 3! Lucio Dulstedt Brown with a big 3 from up top. 49-42 now the score. Milton once again dribbling against the press. A long pass over to Latif Patrick. Almost poked away, but he recovers. Passes it inside to a streaking Tejeda. Tejeda hits the layup and draws the foul. Ross Tejeda will be going to the free throw line, and that's going to be, I think, the 4th foul call on Lucio Dulstedt Brown. It is. And now Milton getting to shoot the bonus, although in this case it's just an and one. But now Bryce Burke subbing in for Lucio Dulstedt Brown. Both players with 4 fouls. Tejeda going for the and one here. And he misses it. But it's rebounded by Lynch. He kicks it out. Shot by Trotman, no good. Rebound Patrick. He tries to go for the putback, misses. Rebound Ben Murray, throws it ahead to Theo Murray. Murray goes for the lay-in, blocked by Tucker. Rebounded by Ross Tejeda. Tejeda brings it across half court. He gives it over to Latif Patrick. Up top to Andrew Lynch. Over to the wing to Earl Tucker, who has had a couple of big plays tonight. Tucker drives inside, goes for the floater. Rolls out, no good. Rebound by Avalon. And it looks like they're going to call a foul against Milton. Avalon was struggling to hold on to it as accidentally he and Ben Murray were battling for the ball. But then Andrew Lynch tried to take advantage and reach in for the ball, and he got called for the foul. That's Andrew Lynch's 4th foul of the night and the 3rd of the half for Milton. Inbound to Bryce Burke, who brings it slowly across half court. 49-44, the score in favor of Brookline. Burke gives it over to Ben Murray. Ben Murray starting to dribble inside. He tries to two-step it. He gets stuffed, and it's recovered by Earl Tucker. Tucker dribbling across half court. He pulls up for 3. No good. Rebound by Trotman. Trotman dribbles back outside after grabbing the offensive board. He's up top, dribbling against Ben Murray, looking for an option. He starts to go inside, and he trips, and they're going to call a foul. They're going to call that foul against Ben Murray. And now Lucio Dulstedt Brown checks in favor of Ben Murray, who just committed his 2nd foul of the night, and that's the 8th foul of the half for Brookline. Milton will be shooting the 1-and-1 bonus. This will be Dalen Trotman at the line, getting ready to shoot the first. First one goes up, and it's no good. And I think we have a loose ball foul. And that's going to be against Milton. That's going to be against Ross Tejeda. Theo Murray fell down while battling for the boards, and they're saying that was on account of Tejeda committing a foul. Tejeda's 1st foul of the night, 4th of the half for Milton. And the inbound against the press goes to Avalon. Then he gives it back to Dulstedt Brown. Dulstedt Brown brings it across half court. And he starts to dribble inside by himself, goes for the lay-in. No good, but he draws a foul. And that's going to be a 2nd foul on Tejeda. 2 quick fouls by Ross Tejeda. And that's now 5.5 for Milton. And they're going to say this one's a shooting foul, so Lucio Dulstedt Brown goes to the line for 2. And it rolls out. His first free throw, no good, and the score remains 49-44. Brookline with a slight lead over the Milton Wildcats. 3:45 left to play in this game. Dulstedt Brown hits his 2nd free throw, 1 for 2, 50-44, and we've got a timeout called, I believe, by Brookline. With 3:45 to play, the Brookline Warriors hold a slight 50-44 lead over the Milton Wildcats. Brookline with 8 team fouls as Milton gets to shoot the bonus for the remainder of this game, and potentially the double bonus if 2 more fouls are committed. Meanwhile, Milton with 5 team fouls this half, 2 fouls away from Brookline shooting the bonus. Once again, neither team can seem to pull away. Brookline can't pull away from Milton, and Milton can't complete the comeback on Brookline as we head down this stretch of a very close Bay State Conference boys basketball matchup. Number of turnovers so far in this quarter, as this has been a very defensive game that has gotten considerably more physical in the second half. Neither team was in the bonus in the first half, and now Brookline is in the bonus and Milton's not far behind. As we come out of the timeout, Brookline sends out Burke, Dulstedt, Brown, Ordonez, Avalon, and Theo Murray. Meanwhile, Milton sends out Patrick, Tejeda, Lynch, Trotman, and Tucker. Lynch inbounds to Patrick. Patrick slowly bringing it across half court for Milton. Patrick crosses half court. He swings it over to Andrew Lynch, who then passes it over to Patrick on the right wing. Patrick dribbles to his left, hands it off to Aylin Trotman. Trotman drives in, goes for an awkward layup, no good. Rebound Tucker. Tucker goes for the putback, and he hits it. 50-46 now the score after the putback shot by Earl Tucker. Ordonez gives it to Burke. Burke brings it across half court for Brookline. Burke swings it over to Theo Murray on his left. Theo Murray gives it back to Lucio Dulstedt Brown at the top. Swings it over to Ordonez on the left wing. Ordonez tries to drive in, hits traffic, kicks it out to Bryce Burke on the right wing. Burke drives in, loses the ball, recovered by Dalen Trotman. Trotman gives to Lynch, who then gives over to Patrick. Patrick across half court. He starts to dribble inside. It's poked away by Bryce Burke, recovered by Lucio Dulstedt Brown. Ben Ordonez brings it across half court. He gives it over to Bryce Burke in the left corner. Burke holding the ball. He passes it up top to Theo Murray. Theo Murray goes inside, goes for a layup. No good. Rebound by Trotman. He gives it over to Earl Tucker. Tucker brings it across half court, holding it at the right wing. He starts to dribble inside, goes for a floater. No good, but he gets his own rebound, but it's poked away by Dulstedt Brown. And they're going to call a foul. They're going to call it on Avalon. Miles Avalon with his second foul of the night. And Brookline's ninth, as Earl Tucker will be shooting the bonus with Ben Murray checking into the game to replace Theo Murray. 50-46 the score with 2:31 to go. A dangerously close game as Milton tries to finish their comeback and take their first lead since the second quarter. Tucker puts up the first free throw and hits the first of the 1-and-1. Tucker puts up the second and airballs it. And they blow the whistle, give the ball to Brookline. And it's inbound to Ben Murray, who swings it across half court to Bryce Burke. Burke holding the ball. He gives it over to Lucio. Dulstedt Brown. Dulstedt Brown drives in, goes for a layup. No good. Rebound Tucker. Tucker now dribbling in transition. All by himself. He two-steps around Burke and hits the layup. 50-49. This is a one-point game with 2:10 left to play. Ben Murray swings it across half court over to Ordonez. Ordonez passes it back to Murray on the right wing. Murray holding the ball. Dribbles back. Starts to dribble back in. Gives it over to Lucio. Dulstedt Brown. Dulstedt Brown swings it over to Murray in the corner. Murray back to Burke on the wing. Burke tries to drive in. Goes for the layup. No good. And again, no foul call. This time it's rebounded by Trotman. Trotman tries to swing a pass in transition over to Tejeda. It bounces off Tejeda's hands and out of bounds. Both players were looking for a foul call, but the refs are really letting them play. Brookline trying to draw fouls with a lot of dangerous drives inside, but they're not getting any foul calls and they're not getting any buckets either. Strategy does not seem to be working as Bryce Burke brings the ball up for Brookline. He goes across half court, dribbling against Lynch. He gets past him, goes inside, hits the layup, and draws the foul. And we have another announcer jinx. As I said, those dangerous drives inside were not working. And of course, Bryce Burke says, "I'm sorry, what did you say?" And he hits the layup and draws the foul from Earl Tucker. That's the third foul of the game for Tucker, who's been a big part of Milton's efforts tonight. That's 16 fouls for Milton, one more, and Brookline will be in the bonus. And we have a timeout call before Burke shoots the end one. 52-49 the score in favor of Brookline with 1:28 left on the clock of what is now a one-score game, and it was at one point a one-point game after Milton has been furiously trying to come back into this game. Brookline hit a bit of a dry patch on their offensive side as Milton was slowly crawling back into it with the help of some free throws, thanks to a number of foul calls against Brookline. Brookline has been driving inside, trying to draw some fouls. They've had some rough luck of it, but that last play, Burke got around his defender, managed to hit an awkward layup, and draw the foul from Earl Tucker. Milton now with 6 fouls, Brookline with 9, and that was the third foul of the night for Earl Tucker. As we get ready to come out of the timeout, Bryce Burke will be shooting one free throw to try and make this a 2-basket game. Looks like no roster changes during that timeout. Brookline still with a lineup of Bryce Burke, Ben Ordonez, Ben Murray, Miles Avalon, and Lucio Dulstedt Brown. While Milton comes in with Ross Tejeda, Dalen Trotman, Earl Tucker, Lateef Patrick, and Andrew Lynch. Bryce Burke going for the free throw. And it rolls out. Rebound Trotman. It remains a 1-basket game as Earl Tucker brings it across half court. Tucker dribbling at the right wing. Looking for an opening. Can't find it. Kicks it out to Lateef Patrick. Patrick tries to swing it over to Andrew Lynch. Almost loses it, but he recovers. Gives it back to Patrick. Patrick swings it over to Tucker on the left wing. Tucker pulls up from 3. In and out. No good. But it's rebounded by Trotman. Trotman dribbles in. Kicks it out to Tejeda. Tejeda pulls up from 3. No good. Rebound this time by Bryce Burke. Two attempts to tie it by Milton, both no good as Burke passes over to Ben Murray. Murray brings it across half court. Less than a minute to play in this one-basket game. Murray gives it over to Ordonez. Ordonez holds it. Ordonez dribbles, then kicks it over to Ben Murray just beyond the half-court line. Murray dribbles, then gives it over to Bryce Burke. Brookline playing a stall game, but they're running out of shot clock. Lucio Dulstedt Brown now holding the ball. He starts to dribble, kicks it out to Ordonez. Ordonez fires from the corner, no good! Loose ball picked up by Earl Tucker on the rebound. Earl Tucker dribbles across half court. Swings it over to Dalen Trotman. Trotman holding the ball, dribbles to his right. Tries to go inside, and they're going to call a travel on Trotman. That could be a costly turnover as there are just 18.4 seconds left. And Dalen Trotman traveled as he was trying to dribble down the baseline. Brookline with a 52-49 lead over Milton in this Bay State Conference boys basketball game that has turned out to be a very close defensive slugfest. And Milton is going to be forced to foul here, and they don't have a foul to give, so it's going to go straight to the 1-and-1 for Brookline. And if Brookline can just hit one, they can turn this into a two-basket game. So a tough situation now for Milton after a costly turnover following Brookline's expiring of much of the game clock before firing up a shot that did not go in. They tried to get the offensive rebound following Ben Ordonez's missed three, but it was picked up by Earl Tucker, who then swung it over to Trotman, who tried to dribble around and go across the baseline, but misstepped and traveled. A very untimely travel for the senior co-captain. And now Brookline will be inbounding with 18.4 seconds left. This could be one of the biggest inbounds of this game, if not the biggest. Lucio Dulstedt Brown will be throwing it in. Milton covering tightly, but it gets to Bryce Burke. Burke tries to dribble out of a trap, and he draws the foul. That's going to be the 7th foul of the half for Milton, and the 5th foul of the night for Andrew Lynch. Bryce Burke going to the line for the 1-and-1. And it looks like there's going to be a slight pause as Milton coach Billy Donovan will be talking with his players as they get ready to sub out Andrew Lynch, who just committed his 5th foul. Juana Morrison will be coming back into the game, joining Ross Tejeda, Dalen Trotman, Lateef Patrick, and Earl Tucker. Bryce Burke at the line for what could be a very huge free throw that could bring this to a 2-bucket game. Burke goes up for it. Front rims it, no good. Rebound by Tucker. 15 seconds to go, and we're still in a 1-bucket game. Tucker bringing it rather slowly across half court. He's dribbling against Miles Avalon. 8 seconds left. He starts to dribble, hands it over to Quanah Morrison. Morrison gets trapped, has it back to Tucker. Tucker fires up one last three. Airballs it, no good, and that's going to be the game. Milton, I don't know if they just didn't have a play drawn up or what, but they just seemed completely lost there. Earl Tucker tried to fire up one last desperation heave from 3 points from the left wing, and he airballed it. 52-49, the final score, as the Brookline Warriors come away with a close, hard-fought win over the Milton Wildcats. Brookline's record improves to 15-4, while Milton falls down to a 500 record at 8-8. A big Bay State Conference win for Brookline as they head down the final stretch of the season. 3 games left to play. The next 2 will be on the road before they return home to face Brockton for their final home game of the regular season. So as we put a close to this surprisingly exciting game between Brookline and Milton, I'm Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan here at Schluntz Gym in Brookline, Massachusetts. Thank you for listening, and be sure to stay tuned for the postgame. Hello and welcome back to Schluntz Gym on the campus of Brookline High School in Brookline, Massachusetts. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, where the Brookline High Warriors finished a heart-stopping game against Milton, 52-49. I'm here with Coach Courtney Valentine. Coach, you talked about how defense is what this team can always bring, and defense was what was needed in a game like this.
Absolutely. These boys are the cardiac kids. I tell you, they have all season long with our defense have kept us in every game, even the ones we've lost. We've got 4 losses in the season, but we've been in all of them. This Milton team, Coach Donovan, I want to give a huge shout out to them. Kid Earl Tucker from Milton, number 3. I'll tell you, I think he's our league MVP. At 6'4", 6'5", swing man, can take you off the dribble, goes downhill. Man, he caused fits for us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially seeing, driving to the lane, you guys usually have some pretty good moves going for the layups, but a long string of no layups, especially in the fourth quarter as they started to claw back. A presence at 6'5", like you said, like Earl Tucker, really makes it hard to not only hit layups, but also to draw fouls when you go for those more physical layups.
Absolutely. Well, this was an interesting game. We were rusty today. We've got some guys back from suspensions and injury and stuff, and it showed today. But this was a good quality game to knock that rust off of them and get back to Brookline basketball. And I'm fully confident we will.
Absolutely.
We got a tough stretch coming.
Absolutely.
Tough stretch coming.
And you talk about shaking the rust off. I don't think there was anyone who could more easily be seen of that than Ben Murray. Started out a very tough first quarter, a lot of missed layups. He hits that 3 to give you guys the lead at the end, and from there he just kind of exploded. 17 total points despite an uncharacteristic, 3 3-pointers, 4 2-pointers, despite an uncharacteristic 0 for 4 from the free throw line. So
and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Even Bryce Burke today, uncharacteristically shooting pretty bad from the free throw line. These guys typically are 80% higher free throw shooters. Today it was just one of those days. Like I said, just guys knocking the rust off today. We got guys coming back from the flu and everything, man. I mean, we've had a plethora of adversity we've dealt with this season, and which guys are coming back from it now. They're getting their legs back, and like I said, it shows right now. But they'll get back to Brookline basketball.
All right, so 3 games left in the regular season. Next 2 on the road before you come back to face
absolutely.
Brockton.
Woo.
What are your thoughts as you enter this final stretch?
Well, I don't know what I was thinking when I made this schedule at the end of the season. But we got our next game is at CM, which is always a tough place to play. They're high energy, downhill, run and gun team. Then we go to Framingham for their senior night, which Framingham is always tough to play. And then coming back here, Brockton on our senior night. Oh, man, they're the number 1 seed in the South right now. 1 loss all year. Tough teams, But you know what? It's good tests for our boys right now. For them to, show their true character and for us to measure ourselves.
Yes, absolutely. And you guys will have plenty of seniors to honor on that senior night. So fans should definitely come out. Not only a good game, but a special night for a lot of young men that night.
It's going to be a great game. Good atmosphere in here. Go Warriors.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Coach.
Absolutely.
That was Coach Courtney Valentine of the Brookline High Warriors coming off a nail-biting 52-49 win over a hard-fighting Milton team. As we look over the final box score, as I said, Ben Murray finishing with 3 3-pointers and 17 total points to lead the way for Brookline, despite an uncharacteristic 0 for 4 night at the free throw line. Lucio Dulstedt Brown finishing with 14 points, 10 of which came in the first quarter, as he goes 2 for 3 from the free throw line, so he had a little bit of a better night at the stripe. Ben Ordonez finishes with 5. He also goes 1 for 2 at the line. Bryce Burke with 5, including a 3-pointer, and an 0 for 2 night at the free throw line. Theo Murray with 2 points. Miles Avalon with 5, as he also went 1 for 2 from the line. And Alex Socorro finishing with 4 to round out the box score. So, as Coach Valentine was saying, rather uncharacteristic day for the team at the line. Saw a lot of missed shots there. Nobody finished with a perfect night at the line. And as we look over to the Milton side, Earl Tucker with a very dangerous night as he finished with a total of 17 points as well, matching Ben Murray, and 13 of those points came in the second half as he just kind of exploded. Dalen Trotman finishing with a total of 10 points. He went 0 for 5 from the free throw line and had a costly final turnover on that last travel. Andrew Lynch with just 2 points. Shamar Anderson with 2. Ross Tejeda with 4 points and 0 for 2 at the line. Quanah Morrison with 3 points. And Lateef Patrick, the man of the night in terms of the charity stripe, he finished with 6, 7, 8, 10 points, 5 of which came from the line as he went 5 for 8 from the line. Brookline improves to a 15-4 record, as I said, while Milton falls to an 8-8 record. Brookline getting ready to head out on the road as they will play at Catholic Memorial on February 9 at 1 p.m., followed by another road game against Framingham 2 days later at 6:30 for Framingham's senior night, before returning home to Schlentz Gym to take on Brockton on February 14 at 6:30 p.m. for their senior night, honoring a very large senior class of 7 guys. That's Ben Murray, Ben Ordonez, Lucio Dulstedt Brown, Daniel Dalzell, Alex Socorro, and co-captains Bryce Burke and Miles Avalon. So that should be a pretty exciting game, and as you heard Coach Valentine say, Brockton is a very strong team this year, so that should be a great game to come to. Be sure to check it out, and if you can't make it, be sure to listen in. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I'm glad to be back from the flu myself, and thank you so much, everyone, for listening.